Neanderthals buried their dead with flowers. They made jewelry from eagle talons. They painted caves. They cared for their sick and elderly long after those people could no longer contribute to the group. Everything we used to believe about Neanderthals, that they were brutish, primitive, barely conscious, has been quietly dismantled by decades of archaeology. And now researchers are asking a question that sounds absurd until you think about it for more than 5 seconds. Did Neanderthals get high? The answer is almost certainly yes, and the evidence suggests they did it on purpose. Neanderthals lived across Europe and Western Asia for roughly 300,000 years. They were not a failed species. They were a successful one, surviving ice ages, megafauna, and every environmental challenge the Pleistocene threw at them. They also had brains that were, on average, slightly larger than ours. What they were doing with those brains is a question that keeps producing uncomfortable answers for anyone who wants to believe humans are uniquely special. Plants that alter consciousness grow everywhere. They always have. Researchers studying ancient forager behavior have documented that virtually every human society ever recorded, without exception, has used some form of psychoactive plant. Anthropologist Weston LeBar called this a human universal. The question is not whether ancient humans sought out mind-altering plants. The question is how far back that instinct goes. Archaeological evidence from El Sidrón Cave in Spain, a Neanderthal site excavated over decades, revealed something extraordinary in dental calcite: the hardened plaque on Neanderthal teeth. Analysis published in the journal Nature found traces of yarrow, groundsel, and ephedra. Yarrow is bitter and has no nutritional value. Groundsel is mildly toxic. Ephedra is a powerful stimulant, the plant that modern pharmaceutical companies used to synthesize ephedrine, a compound found in decongestants, appetite suppressants, and methamphetamine. These plants were not food. They were being consumed deliberately for effect. Ephedra specifically produces heightened alertness, increased heart rate, elevated energy, and a distinct sense of euphoria. If you were a Neanderthal hunter preparing for a dangerous pursuit across frozen tundra, that combination would be extraordinarily valuable. What looks like getting high from a modern perspective may have been something closer to pre-hunt preparation, a performance-enhancing ritual that the group understood, passed down, and refined over generations. But here is where it gets stranger. Some researchers believe the capacity to seek altered states of consciousness is not cultural at all. It is biological. Psychopharmacologist Ronald Siegel argued that the drive to alter consciousness is a fourth basic drive in mammals, as fundamental as hunger, thirst, and sex. Rats will self-administer cocaine until they die. Elephants seek out fermented fruit and get visibly drunk. Jaguars in the Amazon consume ayahuasca plants with no apparent provocation. If the drive to alter consciousness is wired into mammalian biology, then Neanderthals, with their large brains, complex social structures, and documented plant knowledge, were almost certainly following the same instinct. What we called primitive was never primitive. It was just different. And in at least one way, it turns out, not different at all.